Welcome to a series of YouTube presentations presented by Dr. John Pollard, author of How Relationships Work.
The 3 truths of how relationships work. Truth 1. Over 3 presentations, we will explore the fundamental realities that shape every relationship you will ever have. These are not theories or suggestions. They are observable truths that apply to any personal relationship you can name, whether family, social, or work. These 3 truths are simple. Number 1, every relationship takes place in an environment. Number 2, every relationship takes place on a seesaw structure. And number 3, every relationship takes place between 2 co-partners. In this first presentation, we will focus on the environment, because it is often the most overlooked, and yet it can be one of the most powerful influences in any relationship. Truth 1. Every relationship takes place in an environment. When most people think about relationships, they immediately picture the people involved, family members, friends, or colleagues. But one of the most powerful factors in any relationship is often overlooked. This is the environment where the interaction occurs. The environment is not just a backdrop. It is the stage on which every interaction takes place. It shapes the mood, the energy, and even the outcomes of relationships in ways many people never consciously consider. Think about playing chess in a quiet study compared to playing chess in a noisy cafe. The rules and players are the same, but the environment changes everything. Your concentration, your patience, and even your willingness to keep playing are all affected by what surrounds you. Relationships work the same way. The environment sets the tone, affects how people interact, how comfortable they feel, and how well they communicate. You can have the same 2 people, the same topic, along with the same intentions, but if the environment changes, the quality of the interaction changes along with it. Consider a doctor and patient relationship. In most situations, their interaction takes place in a predictable, controlled environment, a clinic, a hospital, or possibly even the patient's home. These spaces are designed to be calm, safe, and structured. This environment supports the relationship. It makes it easier for the doctor to focus, the patient to feel safe, and for both to be present for the purpose of the visit. Now, imagine the same doctor and patient in a battlefield setting. Chaos surrounds them. Loud noises, danger, stress, and unpredictability. Instead of quiet hallways and appointment slots, there are bullets flying, emergency urgency, and blood everywhere. The doctor may still care just as much, and the patient may still trust the doctor, but the qualities of the environment completely stress the interactions. As the environmental reality intrudes upon the relationship itself, decisions feel heavier, reactions are more intense. This environment heightens emotions, speeds up decisions, and challenges the co-partner's connection in ways that would never appear in a calm office. The people have not changed, nor has the seesaw structure, but the environment has, and that remakes the relationship. Romantic relationships are also influenced by the environment in similar ways. Picture a couple walking through the streets of New York City, enjoying dinner in Venice, or exploring the harbour in Sydney. In these settings, the environment is mostly neutral or even supportive. There may be beauty, novelty, and a sense of shared adventure. The surroundings help the couple relax, talk, and focus on each other. Their attention is free to move between themselves and the world around them in a pleasant way. Small annoyances are easier to shrug off when the environment is calm, interesting, or beautiful. Now, place this same couple in a refugee camp, an emergency shelter, or a disaster zone. Stress, scarcity, and uncertainty dominate the setting. Simple decisions like where to sleep, how to keep warm, where to find food, and how to stay safe shape the rhythm of every conversation. The couple may still be deeply attracted to each other, but the environment demands constant problem-solving and emotional attention. Their nervous systems are under pressure. Conversations that would have been small in a peaceful environment become sharp or explosive under stress. This is not because the partners aren't attracted to each other, but because the environment is adding weight to every interaction. As the first truth of any relationship, the environment is flexing its muscle. Distance is another environmental factor that can profoundly affect relationships. You may never realize this unless it happens to you. For example, imagine a couple who live together in Los Angeles. If one partner now has to spend 2 weeks each month in England for work, everything changes. Time zone differences, long travel, and fatigue all upset when and how they can talk and connect to each other. One person might be waking up while the other is getting ready for bed. Even if they communicate well and share strong feelings, their physical separation, the difference in daily routines, and the reliance on screens make it harder to feel close. Missed calls and delayed messages can feel like rejection, even when caused by the environment. Even though the relationship is the same, the environment has just added friction, delay, and vulnerability to misinterpretation. The environment can also play a key role in how relationships begin. You might meet someone at the tennis courts of your local playground and quickly form a friendship. The shared environment, including the warm-ups, the game, and social chit-chat, makes your interactions feel natural and frequent. The relationship can blossom because now you are thrown together in the same environment over and again. Or perhaps moving to a new neighborhood introduces you to people who later become colleagues, collaborators, or close friends. In these cases, the environment acts as a quiet matchmaker, putting the same people in the same spaces long enough for a relationship to begin and then deepen. Workplace proximity is another clear example where the first truth of a relationship shows itself. Two people may report to the same manager, yet their experiences of that manager can be very different, based simply on where they sit. One employee's desk is near the manager's office. They have frequent informal interactions, quick questions, side comments, and spontaneous check-ins. The other employee works in a different building, or perhaps even remotely from another city. Because of this environment, they communicate mostly by email and scheduled meetings. The manager's personality and values may be the same with both employees, but the environment shapes the relationship. One person experiences the boss as accessible and supportive. The other experiences the same boss as distant, slow to respond, and hard to read. The 3 components of environment. The environment of every relationship has 3 critical components: location, duration, and timing. Location is the physical space where the relationship occurs. Are you in a cozy room, a bustling cafe, a quiet park, a hospital, a factory floor, an airport lounge, or a high-stress crisis zone? Each location carries its own emotional, sensory weather. A hospital waiting room feels very different from a family dining table. A boardroom feels opposite to a playground. A confidential conversation in a quiet office allows for calm focus. The same conversation shouted over machinery on a factory floor brings distractions, tension, and misunderstandings. People may mishear comments, feel rushed, or struggle to stay emotionally present. A simple change in location can alter how safe, honest, or open people are willing to be. Duration is the length of time that partners spend interacting on a particular relationship seesaw. Every relationship has a beginning, a middle, and possibly an end. Some interactions are brief, like a short exchange with a barista or a clerk. Others stretch across decades, like sibling-sibling relationships or lifelong friendships. Duration gives a relationship depth, history, and context. Over time, small moments accumulate into a shared story. A couple who met 4 years ago has more shared experiences, more knowledge about each other, and a richer understanding than a couple who met 4 days ago. They have memories of challenges they survived together. They know each other's habits, stress points, and strengths. It's the duration of a relationship that allows trust to be built and rebuilt. It is what makes forgiveness possible after mistakes. At the same time, a long duration in a negative or stressful environment can deepen patterns of resentment or fear. When the setting repeatedly reinforces conflict, criticism, or scarcity, the history of the relationship can become heavy instead of supportive. Over time, the duration writes itself into the story of the relationship. Timing refers to both when relationship interactions occur as well as how often. Imagine a single woman jogging in Central Park. Jogging in the morning feels very different from jogging in the evening, even on the exact same path. At 10 a.m., there are families, tourists, and other runners. By 10 p.m., the park will be quieter, darker, and less predictable. The physical space has not changed, but the timing has altered how safe or relaxed the runner feels. This same principle applies to conversations and connections. Timing matters at work. A manager giving difficult feedback at 5:55 p.m. on a Friday, just as the employee is trying to leave on a vacation, creates a different experience than delivering the same message at 10 a.m. on a Monday after a relaxed weekend. Timing also includes frequency of contact. A parent and child who spend 2 hours together every day experience a much different relationship than if they see each other once every 2 weeks for 2 hours. Daily contact allows for small repairs and small joys. Infrequent contact can make every interaction more intense or pressured, as if everything important must be squeezed into a short window. Timing misalignments can create tension or a sense of distance. One romantic partner may want to talk late at night, just as the other is exhausted. One friend may text often and expect quick responses, while the other is juggling work, caregiving, or travel. Without seeing timing as part of the environment, people may interpret these differences as lack of care or commitment, when often they are just the result of schedules, energy levels, or life demands. Understanding this first truth of relationships will lead you to seek supportive environments that enable your relationships to flourish. You will want locations that encourage focus and safety, durations that allow enough time for real connection, and timing that fits the needs and rhythms of the people with whom you are on the seesaw. When people feel physically and emotionally safe and not rushed, they are more likely to speak honestly, listen carefully, and respond thoughtfully. In a supportive environment, even hard conversations can become turning points toward deeper understanding rather than points of collapse. Hostile or misaligned environments can strain even resilient relationships. Stressful, chaotic, or inappropriate settings amplify friction, miscommunication, and frustration, even when both people are committed and compatible. The same words, spoken in a different environment, can land in a completely different way. The environment is a silent but powerful actor in every relationship. The next time you think about a relationship, don't focus solely on the people involved. Notice where the relationship unfolds, how long interactions last, and what time they tend to happen. Though often going unnoticed, the environment constantly shapes experiences, emotions, and outcomes in every relationship you ever have. Looking ahead, this is the first of a series featuring 3 truths of HRW. In the next presentation, we will explore the second truth of how relationships work. Every relationship takes place on a seesaw structure. Here, you will learn how the name of your relationship determines the roles, rules, and customs for that relationship. Hint: this is not about people on the seesaw. It's how human societies have structured relationships throughout history to meet the needs of its members. The third presentation explores this third truth. Every relationship takes place between 2 co-partners. You will clearly see how both co-partners on the relationship seesaw actively participate, fuel the energy, and shape the direction of the relationships they choose.
Stay tuned and subscribe for more YouTube presentations on how relationships work.